All right, what's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Darium's Competitive Pokemon. I just got my hands on some Zoroarks on PTCGO, so finally we are going to get to roll with some games using those. I have two Zoroark GX right now, and I am just going to try slapping them in everything. I think that Zoroark could potentially be used in Decidueye. I've heard some people talking about that. Some people have confronted me about that. I guess the idea is if you have 6 Pokemon in play, Zoroark can do 120 damage, it's not very bad, and also can allow you to draw cards, which can help you do things like hit the double colorless energy early and things like that. So I'm trying it out instead of the Ninetales GX. I'm not totally sure if that's going to end up working out, but we're just going to go ahead and give it a shot because why not? And yeah, we're just going to see how that goes. And then I think maybe it could also go well in Ninetales GX. So like you could just play, maybe Zoroark GX instead of that instead of the Octillery that was being played in Ninetales GX, and that maybe that will give the deck like a valid backup attacker or something like that. So I am also trying. I think I have the one copy of the Zoroark from Breakthrough in here as well. So like that can give you a nice little one of like big damage attacker if your opponent's filled their bench, something like that. 120 damage, not bad, especially if you can attach a choice band to your Zoroark GX, do 150. Like that's not too shabby at all. So I am liking the idea of that. And it's just like a big tanky, attacker too, and gives you consistency with the draw. We're just gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. To start putting Zoroark in things and see what works, because the card is undoubtedly good. Like we all know that Zoroark is good. And oh no, I'm playing against Greninja. But that's okay because my opponent started Tapu Lele. It's probably the worst starter for this deck. I have a lot of experience with with Decidueye against Greninja, and I can tell you that it's not that great. Let's see if I can Brooklet Hill. Can I Brooklet Hill? I'm pretty sure. No, cut my one copy of Vulpix. I literally just whoop this list up. So let's go ahead, and I don't have the correct Zoruas yet. Just so you guys know, I haven't actually opened any packs of Shining Legends, so I just traded some away to get my Zoroarks. Let's see, and then we just got to end. So, to be proper, you would usually play the. Oh boy, we are off to a blazing start here. I think what we're gonna do is we are gonna end up putting one of these down. Yep, we're gonna search for a supporter, and that supporter is probably going to be a Sycamore, just because next turn I imagine we'll bridge it. And, we'll just start plugging away here just to get some damage on the board. I mean, we're playing Decidueye, so the idea, let's see, I think we choice band too, just to get as much damage as possible on the EX. Since my opponent does not play very many EXs and GXs, if any more than this, I just want to slap that choice band now since I know I'm going to be getting some value out of that. And then next turn, I can bridge it, get my basics out, and the following turn we could Sycamore. You can see here, though, that things are going to be looking pretty bad, especially if my opponent gets a water duplicates off this turn, just because I am very far behind. I don't have an energy on a Decidueye. I need an energy on a Decidueye to stand a chance. Eventually, my opponent is going to start using shadow stitching. Excuse me. They're going to start using shadow stitching, and they're just going to stop me from being able. Oh my gosh, they have a rare candy. Anyways, they're going to start shadow stitching. He got the wrong one. Oh, I'm sorry, Pokemon Troop. I think he was going for the Frogadier and actually got himself the Greninja. And now he's probably just going to have to pass. I don't think that is what my opponent intended to do. Hence the angry face. So hey, oh well, we'll take advantage of that. We are going to go ahead and get ourselves a couple Rowlets ourselves. There we go. And we are going to end up taking a knockout on this active Tapu Lele, which my opponent just left there for me. That mistake could have cost my opponent the game, but we'll see. That or my opponent prized all 4 all 4 Frogadier, in which case my opponent would be pretty angry. I'm not exactly sure, what they got going on here. We will see. I'm not, maybe they could have came up and tried to bubble me to paralyze me. Not exactly sure what they're thinking here, but we'll see. Maybe they got a supporter. They're going to Lily, playing down all the cards in their hand, attaching energy. They do get their Frogadier, so last turn they did make a mistake there and accidentally got that Greninja instead of the Frogadier. But, oh well, I guess we're going to take that, considering this is a pretty bad matchup. So, and my opponent got to go first. So I'm just going to keep playing here and see if I can win anyways, even with my opponent kind of messing things up there. Now, I pretty much want to go for the Sycamore. I think I'd rather leave a space for a second Zorua rather than bench another Rowlet, just since my opponent is probably going to end up... I did not get an energy, boo. Since my opponent is probably going to end up Shadow Stitching me, so I'm not going to get a lot of mileage out of these Feather Arrows. It's not exactly what I want. But, yeah, looks like we just are going to have to Energy Drive here. Well, they're loving life now, huh? Because I didn't get the knockout. That's okay. And my opponent didn't prize any Frogadier. I'm sure things are looking fantastic. So, for me, on the other hand, things are looking sketchy already. I mean, you could tell. I played the Giratina promo in this deck at the League Cup last weekend, and it did very well against Greninja. I mean, it turned this matchup from a pretty bad matchup all the way to what I would consider, pretty much, an auto win. And the more I'm thinking about the Zoroark in here, just from watching it, and thinking about what the potential I'll have with Zoroark, I just feel like Ninetales is better. I have heard some people talk about playing both Zoroark and Ninetales in your Decidueye deck, but I think if you're playing all those stage 1s, it just seems like inconsistent to be playing multiple stage 1s. Oh, did my opponent... Let's see. Oh, they got the choice band, so they definitely Shadow Stitched, right? Let's see here. 70 damage. Yep, they Shadow Stitched. My opponent is hip. They know what's going on here. They are not going to make the misplay of going for the... let's see, Field Blower. Of going for the Moonlight Slash, just allowing me to perform my Feather Arrows. They know better than that. So let's just go ahead and end. And yeah, we are going to need to start getting Razor Leafs going. So we're going to slap that double colorless there on my bench Decidueye. Ultra Ball, away let's see, a rare candy and another rare candy, because at this point I'm not going to need them. And I can grab myself this Zoroark. I could grab myself the stand-in Zoroark, and then if my opponent has a full bench, which they do, then the stand-in Zoroark, it's doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16. That's pretty good numbers. It's more than my Zoroark GX would be doing. I feel like that's the play. Oh, I could also get this Latios, which I think could be good, just to maybe pick up some of the stragglers over here, especially that Tapu Lele. I think I like that better, actually, so I am going to grab the Latios. Just going to go ahead and slap him down, and then I'm going to Energy Drive for 60 more damage. At this point, we know this thing's going down, and now I have the Latios here. I want to take this knockout on this EX eventually. I also want to just soften up some of my opponent's other Greninjas, and, that's just in case I draw into a DC. Obviously, one-shotting is going to be the most optimal here, so if I could draw a Grass Energy, that's what I want, so that I could just go in with Razor Leaf. However, if you play this deck enough, you realize that you don't always get what you want as far as the energy goes, so sometimes you have to make compromises. I also am hoping that my opponent does not get their break for this active Greninja, and if they, it looks like they do got that break. So that's a little annoying, because that is going to make it so that I cannot snipe this Greninja here for knockout. They do, however, look like they are going to get the knockout on my active, so that is super, super frustrating, but it's all good. It's all good in the hood, fellas. We are just going to keep it rolling here. You can see how bad this matchup is. You would think, since we play Grass Energy and a Grass attack that can one-shot Greninjas, that we would be totally fine. but even with my opponent's early misplay, you can see that Giant Water Shuriken just allows them to really stack up damage quickly. And since I cannot overwhelm my opponent with, Feather Arrows, there's really, there's almost nothing I could do. It's just I gotta, I hope that I could get their turn 2 Razor Leaf. If I don't get the turn 2 Razor Leaf, yep, and you can see here, that's not exactly great. I could do 60 damage and knock out the active Greninja with my Tapu Lele, or I can retreat and attack with Latios. That, seems fine. Oh, I could go in with my Zoroark here. That's another option that I have. So, a bunch of options. None of them seem fantastic. I could take 2 cards to, on the Tapu Lele here off my prizes, which is pretty good. I think I definitely want to knock out the Greninja break. That definitely seems like a priority here. And I feel like I should probably just save my energy. I definitely want to evolve that up so the Zorua doesn't just get knocked out by Giant Water Shuriken. I feel like I might just save my energy, though, so I could decide what the best play is next turn and just take the knockout on the active Greninja. I don't necessarily want to just go ahead and take out the Tapu Lele GX quite yet, because if I were to retreat it into the Latios and then take out the Tapu Lele GX, my opponent could have done something like just end me into a bad hand, something like that, while they kind of power play on the rest of my weakened Pokemon over here. You could see if at any point, they were to stop using Giant Water Shuriken, I would be in a great position here with lots of Decidueyes. I can knock out the Staryu, I can knock out the Tapu Lele, but as long as they're used a Giant Water Shuriken here, we just pretty much don't have a chance. But like I said, you play the Giratina promo, this matchup's like an auto win. There's really not a lot they can do. I will say though that the Ninetales GX is just so good against this deck, even with the Giratina promo. Just because if they do Enhanced Hammer your energy off, or if they use Tapu Storm and they shuffle your dude back in, you can see my opponent did end there. So instead of ending me to 4, they are ending me to 5, which I like better. The Ninetales GX just creates a really nice wall to sit behind. You see they do play Enhanced Hammer. So that hurts. That hurts, guys. That really hurts. Yeah, but the Ninetales GX, something that you could sit behind while, your opponent can't really knock it out in any sort of efficient kind of way. They just more or less have to compromise there, which is not something they want to do. Who do I promote that just knocked out my active Giant Water Shuriken? Super annoying. I feel like I could, Hollow Hunt GX. Just all these options seem horrible. I'll just send out my Zoroark. And I guess my thought process is if I could crack this thing for 150 damage, they're going to Shadow Stitch. If I can hit this thing for 150 damage, then perhaps the following turn, or 160 damage, the following turn I could take a 3 prize turn. So that's pretty good. But at the end of the day, that's still I think I'm going to be too far behind to be able to pull this one out. I don't think there's anything on the discard pile that I want with a Rescue Stretcher. I could Ultra Ball here. I don't think that there's anything that I want, though. Let's Ultra Ball and take a look. I could get the Espeon, which will not do anything. I could, let's see, get the Decidueye and discard it. I could get the Zoroark GX and discard it. Pretty sure what I want to do is I'll just get this and discard it, because everything else could potentially be useful. I think I want to bench this Zorua here, even though my opponent can just knock that out with a Giant Water Shuriken. I'm pretty sure that they'll do that on my active Zoroark instead, especially if I'm able to hit a double colorless here, which is what I want to do. So we're going to give it a shot, and we did. Okay, so that's not horrible. We could go in with this Zoroark. I potentially should have Max Potion there first, but I'm thinking that I want to save the Max Potion for something a little more juicy, like a Decidueye after a Hollow Hunt or something like that, since I think what my move is going to be is that I'm going to Mind Jack here, and then my opponent's going to knock this out. Then I'm going to go up with a Decidueye, and I'm going to Hollow Hunt, and then while I Hollow Hunt, I'm going to grab some DCE. I don't know, maybe I'll use the Max Potion before I go up for a Hollow Hunt, something like that. I probably should have max potion there just to make it harder for my opponent to knock that out. Though they can still knock it out. It doesn't make much of a difference because they want a Shadow Stitch, and they still would have knocked it out with a Shadow Stitching and a Giant Water Shuriken anyway. Oh no, actually no. Yeah, because they just get the Water Shuriken. So I'm wrong. Yep, I definitely should have max potion that, but it's okay. Live and learn. I could use the max potion on this Decidueye, though that doesn't make like a huge difference. That's probably what I'll end up doing. So I'm going to end up getting like a similar amount of mileage out of it anyway, because I'm just going to promote this Decidueye here. Then I suspect that my opponent will like really go in on it and try to do a lot of damage. And then I am going to max potion it, attach a grass energy, hollow hunt for some things back. And then I'm going to try and take 3 prizes here on the Tapu Lele and the Greninja. I'm just in a rough spot though. I need to find a way to chalk up 2 more prizes out of this board position for my opponent. And they just got a very commanding board position right now. I could, let's see, I could go and try to damage like some other of my opponent's Pokemon here. Oh, with the Guzma, that does help. And then maybe eventually I go for a, like a Latios play, or not a Latios, an Espeon play. But that doesn't seem good either. I'd have to rack up like 130 damage on some of these other things, or 70 on these, and I don't like that at all. So let's see here. I do like that I got the double colorless energy. I don't like that I don't have the grass and that float stone, because what I wanted to do is I wanted to go in with the hollow hunt to this turn. That is no longer an option. So now we have to figure out what it is we are going to do. I can just Guzma up the Lele and take a 3 prize knockout that way. I can Guzma up this Starmie and take a 2 prize knockout. I think I like that slightly better. Though I will want to get my Rescue Stretcher back. Let's see, do I have one in deck? I do have one in deck. So it's going to require some finessing here for sure. Let's just go ahead and let's Guzma up this Starmie. I think this is the correct play, since like the Starmie's only got, or the Staryu's only got 30 hit points. So, and then I think I'm gonna save the Lele for like the end of the game, because I want to try and take as many other prizes as I can here. I don't think that there's anything worth Ultra Balling for. I think I just go ahead and break through and knock out that Greninja break and take that prize. I could have put the 30 damage somewhere else. I could have put it onto maybe this Greninja here and tried to wear that down. But I think I'm just going to try and keep my opponent from using as many giant water shurikens. If I can, I would love to get, like, they do got an energy here. So I guess they're actually, by Guzmaning the Starmie, I think I prevent my opponent from knocking out this Latios unless they go in with something other than Shadow Stitch, which is exactly what I wanted. Because then if they can't Shadow Stitch and knock out the Latios, so if they have to Giant Water Shriek in the Latios, and then they have to Shadow Stitch it, they're only going to be doing 100 damage. Latios got 110 hit points, so they would leave it with 10 hit points remaining, in which case I'm going to get one more breakthrough out of this, which is really good, because then I can put more damage onto the Starmie. I really like that. I've slowed down the game by promoting this Latios that my opponent can't knock out. I really liked Guzmaning the Starmie, force them to put an energy there and retreat it. You can see my opponent is going for damaging these Decidueyes. Maybe eventually they go for something like an Espeon GX play to try and win the game. I don't know. I mean, that would be a little sketchy. But let's see what we got here. Let's Field Blower their Choice Band. Yep, let's do that. And then I'm going to end up going for Sycamore. Oh, I only have 9 cards left in deck. 3N in the discard pile. We are looking like we're going to have to Hollow Hunt here. Maybe I should have Field Blowered my own Choice Band so that I could potentially put a Float Stone onto the Latios. That probably was the right play. But we've gone and done it now. We're pretty committed here. Let's see. I got Ultra Ball away, the Lele, and that Zorua. They're pretty much not going to help me out here. I've got 1 max potion in the deck. I think what I want to do 2, and I do have my N in there, so that's good. I'm safe. I'm going to grab this so that my opponent can't take a cheesy prize here on the Zorua. So I am going to evolve that up. And now I have 8 cards left to deck. Whoopee! So let's go. I did get the Float Stone here. See, I really would have preferred to Float Stone this Latios, but I missed my Max Potion, weirdly enough. I think what I can do, though, is potentially just attach a Grass to one of these Decidueyes and then break through, maybe knock out the Tapu Lele, and then the following turn, oh my gosh, is this my last DCE too? 14 seconds. Yes, it is my last DCE, so I am going to have to Hollow Hunt here. Think I attach this to a Decidueye, and then I am going to have to Hollow Hunt. Let's see. I can break through. I can knock out the Lele, get 2 things off my prizes, or I can put 30 more damage onto the Starmie, which like also seems decent. But I think because then I could eventually devolve that, and knock it out. But I don't think that'll necessarily be enough. I think I need to, yeah, I don't know. And then one more breakthrough, I do like knock out the Starmie outright, actually. So I like that. So maybe I'll just put it on the Starmie for now. And then I think I need to break through one more time. And then I break through and maybe I take a double knockout on the Starmie and the Lele. But that only gets me 3 more prizes. I don't think I'm going to have enough time to pull this one out. My opponent has to knock out the Latios this turn. That means they're going to have to double Water Shriek in it. That's probably what they're going to do. And then I'm going to have to promote something. Probably going to promote this Decidueye over here with 100 damage on it. Hope I get my Max Potion. Something like that. So yeah, they at least have to Water Shriek in this thing once. I think that they'll probably Water Shriek in it once, and then they'll Shadow Stitch it, and they'll Water Shriek in maybe one of my bench Decidueyes another time. Maybe they're going for an Espeon play. Maybe they'll put it here. I'm not entirely sure. This Zoroark GX, yeah, he's chilling. He's not really doing anything or offering anything up right now, especially since my opponent is keeping that Shadow Stitching stream going just very, very hard. Things are feeling bleak. I mean, this is kind of just how this matchup goes, unfortunately. Now my opponent's in a situation where if they get Espeon GX into play, they just win, especially if they knock out this Latios right here, which I'm fully expecting. So I do have my 1 Max Potion. It is in the deck. I do know that, and I haven't played another Max Potion yet. So that means that my other Max Potion's in the prizes. So maybe I should have gone ahead and tried to knock out the Tapu Lele. Oh, wow, they're really going for that Espeon win, huh? So that's a little sketchy. So here, even if I'm... that means that they're not going to knock out my Latios, though, unless they use... Okay. Unless they use... Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Unless they use anything other than Shadow Stitch. I mean, they can't use Shadow Stitching and knock out my Latios because of where they've placed their other damage. I think that's like a little greedy on my opponent's part to leave this thing alive one more turn, since I am, like, they could have, like, potentially opened the door for me to win the game by doing that. That is definitely a little bit of a sketchy play for them. I think they want to go for the, I'm going to Max Potion something. I think I'm going to Max Potion this Decidueye here. Just I get the most value out of that. Then I think I have to attach an energy. Probably going to attach an energy to my Decidueye here. I don't want to Float Stone this thing yet, because I'm probably just going to Float Stone one of my Decidueyes after I Hollow Hunt, since I will probably have to do that. I could get my Espeon EX back, but I think I just go for broke and try to knock out the Starmie right now while also ending. I think that seems like the most reasonable play. Oh, geez, do I deck myself? I do, guys. No, I don't, because I can Rescue Stretcher. All right. Okay, so we're not out yet. I can Rescue Stretcher a couple things back into my deck. So maybe, let's see here. All right, I need to Rescue Stretcher some boys back in. All right, at least put 3 Pokemon in my discard pile in my deck. Yep, that's what we want. Let's at least put the Espeon back, and we'll put a Lele back, and we'll put another Lele back. All right, let's put those things back in. I should have waited to Max Potion. That was a little bit of a misplay, but oops. So I didn't realize that I was so pretty much broke on my deck there. That's unfortunate, because that means that I'm not going to have Latios immediately, but I am going to breakthrough here and just knock out the Starmie. So we do have that. Then my opponent is going to take, let's see, they're going to take a knockout on the Latios for sure. Then I need to go up with my Decidueye, and I need to Hollow Hunt for some things back, including an N and a DCE and a Rescue Stretcher. I just don't think I could do it, guys. I think I'm just broke. I need to get, let's see, I have both my Rescue Stretchers are down now. They are. This is my only Latios. So they are going to end me to 3, which is, you know, this is fine. And then it puts actually another card back on my deck, so I'm okay with this. They are going to take a knockout here. It's just such a weird situation. I need to get myself some more mileage here. I think I can Hollow Hunt GX, which is good. I don't want to play any cards necessarily. I need an N as well. And maybe I can't afford to get a max potion. I just hope my opponent is like got out of energy and can't get that back. So I think I just need to Hollow Hunt. And I think I need to get 2 double colorless. And let's see, I got the Floatstone in my hand. So I think I need to get 2 double colorless and potentially my Rescue Stretcher. And I think that's all I could do. So I think I'm going to get that. If I get the 2... Oh boy, okay. If I get the 2 DCE and the Rescue Stretcher, then I can start taking knockouts on my opponent's Greninjas, and I can end the game, so, because I can retreat this Decidueye with the Floatstone in my hand, and then I can't, but we need to hope that my opponent cannot get Espeon and an Energy. I mean, obviously they win if they do that. But then I could win the game, potentially, with the breakthrough on the Latios. And also, like, instead of N, I'm just going to say, like, N's pretty much a dead card right now. Me and my opponent both have, like, almost no... cards left in our deck. So I think what I do here, okay, I go in and I retreat and I Razor Leaf this active Greninja. I think, yeah, that seems like reasonable. Yeah, let's just do that. DC here. Let's retreat. And then we're going to Razor Leaf. And then we'll go from there. I guess, we just hope that this Decidueye gets us there. And I can take 2 prizes if my opponent does not, knock this double colorless energy off my Decidueye. I just have game next turn, with the Latios play. So if they Enhanced Hammer, oh no, do they have Ultra Ball energy? No, don't tell me I came all this way just to lose to an Espeon right here. No, I was so close. I almost had it. You got to assume they have the energy. They Sycamore, there's got to be an energy left in that deck. If there's not, then that would be pretty hilarious, but they got it. So, oh well. Good for you, opponent. You got me. I didn't get my max potion off my prizes. I have 1 more max potion. 1 more max potion would have prevented all this stuff from happening. So anyways, pretty good game overall, pretty close to winning. So, I consider that to be a horrible matchup without the Giratina promo. Unfortunately, the Zoroark was like not really able to show off too much, though the Zoroark from Breakthrough did put a lot of damage onto a Greninja and allow me to knock that out. So like that was pretty cool because I did get to Mind Jack 1 time. But anyways, thank you all for watching the gameplay video. Let me know what you all think of Zoroark GX. Does it belong in Decidueye? Yes, no, maybe so. Let me know what you think. Anyways, Latios showing that it is a true thug as always, and that thing really gets a lot of work done. So anyways, thank you all for watching the video. Let me know what you think of Decidueye, Zoroark in the deck. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.